Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. Is your job who you are, or is it what you do? This is for Black women in toxic jobs. I'm not sure where I first heard this quote from, but I wanted to talk about it because I recently saw Stephanie Perry on Instagram. She was live. And no, I actually saw her post, excuse me. It was her post. And I want to read the post to you because I want you to think about and just self reflect on what she's saying. And I'm going to tell you my own reflections. Okay. So, again, this was an Instagram post from Stephanie Perry. She stated, Black women, there's no such thing as a good job. A job is a means to an end. If the job is standing in your way, it's not a good job. Untether your identity from your work and live. Okay. So I remember in another video I saw from her, and Stephanie Perry, if you haven't followed her, please follow her. But she talks about Black women living a life of ease. She talks about Black women not waiting until so called retirement to live our lives and to rest. She talks about, like, yes, we need to make money, but not to kill ourselves in the process. And any job that is killing you is not really a good job. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about this because again, am coming in talking about self reflection by sharing my own journey through a toxic job and the experiences of other Black women. So again, I'm here to encourage self-reflection. And so when I think about, what she said in terms of, identity, our identities many times are really very much connected to our jobs because as we've been brought up, we've been told that, when you grow up, you're going to be, or when I grow up, I'm going to be. And so we attach a lot of our worth to our jobs. And the challenge is that when you're in a toxic job and you're being treated some kind of way that's not uplifting or shows you that you're worthy, then you try many times to make even harder. You try even harder to make things work at the job. And then if things don't work out, if things are not turning out well, then it can very much impact your view of yourself, your self worth, because your whole identity is tied up into the job. So I encourage you or invite you to think about in what ways is my job really defining who I am? Is the job defining how I see myself? It's a job defining how I see my future. So something else that I saw her say in another video, Stephanie Perry, she was talking about does a job, she's like she's saying that, she has a hard time believing that any job is really good, okay, if you're working for other people, because other people are defining things for you. But something that she was talking about too is recognize that a job is a means for you to get a paycheck. So let's put your job in perspective in terms of what the job really is. It doesn't mean that you're a better person or not because you have a certain job title, but the job is helping you make a living. So if it's helping you make a living and you enjoy what you're doing, that's great. However, if you're in a job and it's not um, making you feel good about yourself, it's harming you in some kind of way, you might be getting a check, but look at all the other stuff that goes along with it in terms of the cost. So in that situation, again, it's not a good job. It might get you to getting a paycheck, but it's killing you in the process. So if we think about what is a good job, what is a good job for you? So that's for you to determine what is a good job for you. What does that consist of? How do people treat you in this good job? So if you envision that, what does that look like for you? And if you're not there, get somewhere else. So interestingly, I had a conversation with Dr. Tiffany Bowden recently, and I was asking her about psychological safety in the workplace and if that's even possible. I think I'm a little jaded because I came from a toxic job, but she was talking about you can take your power back by being in jobs for certain periods of time until you get a certain level of skill or experience or whatever, and then you choose to leave. She talked about sometimes people choose to be in a job for like 2 years and they're out and they find something else. So that might be an option for you so you don't feel so stuck or that you have to stay at a particular job. So you have to stay because you have to save the company. You have to stay because you want to look out for other people being able to promote, or you want to stay because you're mentoring other people and you want to make sure they're okay. But the thing is, just like they tell us on the airplane, you can't save anyone else if you can't save yourself. So again, think for yourself. What is a good job to you? Evaluate the situation you're in right now. Is it a good job to you? Okay. So Stephanie has a perspective. I have a perspective. Other people might have perspectives about jobs and what's considered a good job. However, I invite you to think for yourself. Is it a good job for you based upon what you need for yourself? So, in addition to the paycheck, because any job can give you a paycheck. So, in addition to the paycheck, what is it doing for you? And is it costing you? What is it costing you? If it's costing you way too much, if it's costing you your health, your physical, your psychological health, it's not worth that paycheck. You can go somewhere else and get the paycheck. So I just want us to be clear that there are other avenues for you to get paid. It doesn't mean that you need to be terrorized in the process. So again, Stephanie Perry was talking about, does your job meet your expectations or not? And if it doesn't, then again, you have options. So again, just wanted to talk to you in terms of really evaluating for yourself. Sit, take a moment, and I know we're all busy, but take a moment. That's why I want to do like short videos. So just take a moment and self-reflect. Just pause and self-reflect for yourself. One, do I see my job? Do I define myself by my job? So when I meet someone, do I say my name and say what I do? Or do I say my name and talk about the company I work for? Or if I meet people and I'm talking, my job always seems to come up in terms of what's my profession, what are my job duties. Does that give you a sense of, I don't know, does that make you feel more powerful in terms of your job position, your title? And or some people might perceive their job as equating to people seeing them in a more favorable light. And the expectation is that people will treat you better because you have a certain job title. But again, you are not your job title. The hope is that people respect you in and of yourself for you, not just because of what you do. So if we start thinking about, wow, I'm going to get more respect because of my job title, then that's concerning. So now we're looking at your identity is very much connected to the work that you do. So again, if you go into places and you're always talking about your job, or if you go into spaces and you are so curious about the professions of other people that you're talking to, like that's the initial part of the conversation, then you may be in a situation where you are defining not only yourself, but other people you interact with in terms of their profession. So, can we connect to people as people and in terms of interests and values and all these other things as opposed to only their profession? Now, yes, it's good to network, it's good to know like what field you're in and all that. But if that is the only thing that you're talking about in social situations, again, I encourage you to self-reflect on that. So as I'm winding down, again, take a moment to self-reflect about the job that you want for yourself and determine based upon your experiences, is this a good job? Also, self-reflect and think about when you meet people, when you describe yourself, if you were even just to sit right now and just describe yourself to yourself, what would you say? If what you do in terms of your profession is one of the top things, then let's think about in what ways does your job define who you are. A job is what you do, it is not who you are. Okay. So there might be certain qualities that you have that, really align with your profession. Okay. So I'm a psychologist. So I listen, I speak, right? So these are things that those are some values that I have in terms of helping other people. So there might be certain qualities in terms of certain things that you value, but I am a psychologist. That's what I do, but that is not my whole identity. So when I meet people, that's not the first thing I say in conversation. Now it's a little artificial here on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever I am. I do say that because sometimes people might listen to me a little bit more if I say that. Okay. So I'm signing off. If you're in a situation where you're like, this job is defining me and I can't stand it, I know I need the paycheck, but I know I can find somewhere else to go. I just am stuck. I don't know how to get there. Then let's see if we can work together. So click the link in the description section to get on my calendar and we can schedule a discovery call. Okay. So again, click the link and we can schedule a discovery call. Remember, you are not your job. A job is what you do to get a paycheck. And I will see you later. Give this video a thumbs up and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye bye.